Esther, for that wonderful introduction. You know, one of the perks of being the president of a Toastmasters club is you get these wonderful introductions. And it's so sweet when you get it from someone like Esther. Let's hear it once again for her. Ladies, gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
I call to order meeting number 993. I was trying to figure out, where did this phrase, fortune favors the bold, where does this phrase originate from? And by some accounts, the first person who said this was Alexander the Great. Now, if he actually said it, it's very appropriate for a person who pretty much conquered the entire world. But for me, what a person says at the end of his life, apparently Alexander said this at the start of his life, when he was just about to start his career, when he was just about to start his quest to conquer the world. Fortune favors the bold. But for me, what is more interesting is, what does a person say towards the end of his life? After he's seen the life, what are his last words? And Alexander's last words is pretty interesting. As you know, Alexander conquered all the way from Macedonia. He came all the way towards India, right? Now Pakistan. And then he was going back. And when he was going back, he fell seriously ill. But he desperately wanted to see his mother one last time. But he knew he can't make it to that distant homeland of his. And he called all his generals and he said, I have 3 wishes. And I want you to carry out these 3 wishes dutifully. The general says, sure. What are these wishes? And he said, the first thing is, when I die, I want only the physicians to carry my coffin. 2, the path to the grave, that path should be strewn with all the gold and silver and the precious metals from his treasury. 3, when you place me in the coffin, make sure that my hands are dangling up. No one dared to ask the great Alexander, but why? Why do you have these strange desires, these wishes? But one of his favorite generals walked up to him and kissed his hand and said, "O king, we will definitely do this. But tell us, why do you have these wishes?" He said, the first one, I want only the physicians to carry my body, because I want to tell, these are the 3 lessons that I've learned. The first one is, I want all the physicians to carry my body because I want to tell the world that no doctor in the world can cure your body. And therefore, do not take your life and your health for granted. That's the first lesson. The second lesson, why do I want all my jewels strewn in the path to the grave? He said, I spent all my life amassing wealth. I want the people to know it's an absolute waste of time chasing wealth. And the third thing, when I'm in my coffin, why do I want my hands dangled out like this? Because I want the world to know I came without anything and I go back without anything. You know, when we start our life in a career or when we are young, we have all kinds of aspirations. Fortune favors the bold. We hear all these motivational speakers. We're pumped up. But I think it's worth listening to some of the last words of some of the greatest people the world has ever seen. And Alexander was certainly one of them, the man who probably gave this word, this phrase. It is so sobering. And when you reflect on their last words, it gives you better perspective, a better balance in your life. On that note, I would like to welcome on stage the Toastmaster of the day. You will not find a more balanced person in this room. But before I introduce him, I'd like to make an announcement. We've got 4 prepared speeches today. and we've got table topics. And we intend to end this meeting at 8:30. And we can do that only if every speaker sticks to his time limit. So the Toastmaster of the day does an introduction 3 minutes, straight away goes to the table topic speaker. Please crunch your table topics to 1 minute today. Prepared speakers, make sure you're between 5 and 7. And the most important session, evaluation. We've seen evaluators take 7 to 10 minutes. We cannot afford to do that. You have 3 minutes. And make sure your evaluation helps the speaker. We've had evaluations where the evaluator would just go through the speech and say, that was very well done. That is whitewash. We're going to have another session on what is good evaluation. Make sure, speakers, you've given your CC manual to the evaluators. Make sure the evaluator knows what the guideline is. We've got 2 CC1, and if you happen to be evaluating them, please do not come up and say, don't read from your notes, because you're allowed to do that. Right? So just look at 2 things that he did well, and perhaps 1 or 2 things where he can improve. But stick to your 3-minute limit, okay? On that note, and with the hope that we will finish at 8:30, I would like to welcome on stage the Toastmaster of the day. He is one of the founder presidents of this club, one of the nicest people you will come across. He is an HR professional. He runs his own institute for human resources. Please help me welcome, in your inimitable way, Toastmaster of the day, Pr Cherian.